Okay, dude. So I made 12 grand in one day without a single sales call. Probably the most effortless money that I've ever made. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. So let's get stuck straight into the iPad and I'll talk you through this. It is ridiculously simple. And that sounds like, that sounds clickbaity, but it genuinely is. To show you how I did this, I first need to show you the mistake that most business owners make with their product pipeline, with their ascension journey for clients. And then I'll show you what I did instead to land me an extra 12 grand in one day with no sales calls, the most easy money I've ever made. So here's what most people do. They have a product pipeline that looks like this. They have their free content. Okay. So the free content might be YouTube videos, Instagram videos, LinkedIn posts, whatever. Okay. On top of that, they also have their lead magnets. Okay. So your lead magnets bring people deeper into your funnel, into your client ecosystem. But typically your free stuff, no matter how good it is, it can be extremely valuable. It isn't going to get a client a significant result or transformation, usually because they haven't got skin in the game, right? So you could sit here and watch these videos until you're blue in the face, but because you haven't paid for them, the likelihood of you taking significant action, making the relevant changes, and then getting a result off the back of these videos is very, very low, okay? So that is important to remember. And then what they'll typically have is a lower cost thing, which is the next step in the ascension ladder, if you like. I think Russell Brunson calls this a value ladder. But the next step is you have a low cost thing. So this is not as expensive as your full high paid thing, especially if you do high ticket coaching. And this is where the coaches start making lots of mistakes because they have this mentality of, okay, this thing is cheap. So I normally deliver, I'm just giving this as an example. I normally deliver one-to-one coaching. I normally deliver my course material, plus all of my group calls, plus my in-person events. That's what I normally give in my high-paid thing. But because this is cheap, it's low cost, I'm going to get rid of the coaching. I'm going to get rid of the in-person events, and they're not going to have direct access to me. Okay. Now the problem is that when you do that for your clients, yes, they've paid only a small amount of money to come in and ascend your client journey, but they come away from the process thinking that's just a little bit shit, right? Which makes upselling nearly impossible, okay? If you don't impress people on the front end, even if it's with your low cost thing, it makes upselling really, really difficult. And then they have their high ticket main core offer. Okay, so you can think of this as your core offer. This is like the biggest thing that they sell. It's the main breadwinner for revenue in the business. And they're trying to get people to go from free content to low cost thing and then ascend them into the high ticket core offer. But like I said, this is where people are dropping the ball because they've ultimately just pulled lots of things out of their low cost thing, which makes upselling into the high ticket core offer incredibly difficult to do. Okay. So what I did instead, I'm going to show you this. Really, really simple, completely different model, is I created something that I call a micro offer. And I'm going to show you the points that I think are really, really important for this to work effectively. So at the bottom of the value ladder, I have my free stuff, which are these videos, my podcasts, my lead magnets. I have the Magnetic Marketer course, which is linked in the description of this video. There's a school community there. There's sales training. I've got all of my free resources, which bring people into my universe with zero friction because it's free. It's free value. Okay. Now, rather than me making a low cost thing that was stripped back from all of the things that are going to help my clients get an incredible transformation, I just basically gave them everything at a no-brainer price. Okay, and I'll give you the insights on the numbers for this, right? But I basically so far I've taken 7 new clients in on this offer here. It's under £1,000 sterling. Okay, so really, really affordable for the type of client that I work with. And I've given them everything, okay, at a no-brainer price, under £1,000. And then all I had to do is deliver my core product, but in a much more condensed time frame. So specifically, this was 6 weeks that I ran this for. Okay, normally my thing is 12 months. Okay, but I delivered it for 6 weeks. I gave them access all areas, full one-to-one coaching with me, all of the program material, all of the community stuff, all of the in-person events, everything. Okay. I then just had to send a couple of messages out to these guys and say, I want to continue working with you. I've really enjoyed working with you over these last few weeks. Here are the options to stay on board. And no sales call needed, no convincing people. They already know what I'm about. They already know how good the product is. They wired me the additional money into my core offer. That is it. It is literally that easy. And it feels counterintuitive for people, because what they want to do in this part of their value ladder is they want to hold their cards close to their chest. And some of the rationale that I've heard for this is, sentiments like, I want to give people a reason to upsell. So what they mean by that is like, well, if I give away all of my stuff at this stage, what would my clients pay extra for to move into my core offer? And it's kind of the wrong mentality, right? If you don't get it right at this stage, it doesn't matter about what you have to upsell them into, because they're not going to be convinced on continuing to work with you anyway. So even if you've got additional value adds to give people in your core offer, you haven't got a client to serve it to because you haven't convinced them here. So the number one battle that you need to win in this value ladder equation is, how do you get someone from free content into your lower cost thing? And then all of your focus needs to be on just blowing people away in your lower cost step in your value ladder to make upsells into the core offer no-brainers, like just easy sells. That's it. That is the whole model. If you found it useful, let me know in the comments, because this stuff will honestly just take your business's revenue and profit to the complete next level. Another side benefit of this that I just want to quickly add in, with this approach, you don't have to make new stuff. Okay. Most people's low ticket or lower cost stuff, they have to make another product to sell at a lower price. They have to take things out. They need to change systems, operations. They need to change automations, new landing pages. I just sell my core offer at a lower price. It is that simple. So if you found this useful, drop a comment below. Let me know. Watch another video. Hopefully this has been a bit of an eye-opener for you. And if you want some help building this stuff out for yourself, if you want help with designing your program, your delivery models, your marketing material, then let's have a chat. I work with all of my clients one-to-one, have open access to me. It is one-to-one coaching and consulting in the truest word possible. So just follow the instructions in the description. Let's have a chat, and I'll speak to you very soon. Peace and love, guys.